Hello, my name is Katie. Welcome to the oh my gosh. I forgot to confiscate the speaker toys. I'm gonna go do that. Hi, welcome to the Wildflower Magic Podcast, take 2. We had to pause because you found another one. God damn it. Bring it here. Go away. We are confiscating donut for the time being. Yeah, it's mine now. Go lay down. You were just napping. Go back to napping so I can podcast, please. Thank you. Rude. Hi. Welcome to the Wildflower Magic Podcast. My name is Katie. I am coming to you from Virginia Beach, where I live with my partner, our 2 dogs, and our 2 cats. If you hear noises over there, it's one of the 4. I can't keep them all quiet at once. It's impossible. I gave up a long time ago. Although I think I might include, this is like take 3 because I had to stop right after my intro to confiscate our donut squeaky toy. And then he found another squeaky toy, so I had to pause again. I might include that as like the intro. That'll be your welcome to the chaos segment of the video. Anyways, welcome to the Wildflower Magic Podcast. I'm Katie. I live in Virginia Beach with my partner, my 2 dogs, my 2 cats. And yeah, this is a knitting podcast. Sometimes crochet, but not super often. And here we go. I'm drinking coffee out of my super cute Alice in Wonderland mug that I got from Disney like so long ago. My wrist hasn't been that way. Coffee. It's always coffee. Alan's dad is gracious enough to send me like 5 pounds of coffee beans a month. And so I am never on a shortage of coffee. Thank goodness. All right. I said this was a knitting podcast and we haven't talked about knitting yet. So let's get into it. I have 2 finished objects to share with you. We're going to start at the top and work our way down because I'm wearing both of them. This is the Valkyrie headband. It is a pattern by Worsted Wolf on Instagram and Ravelry. Her name is Jodi. This is her very first design, and I was lucky enough to test it. And as I mentioned in my last podcast, I say lucky enough as if I did not harass her for days until she posted the link and told me I could test. I was like, when are you releasing the link? When are you releasing your testing call? I want to test. When are you going to release your testing call? I'm going to set an alarm. When are you releasing your testing call? And she was like, oh my God. I will let you test. Just stop pestering me. And I was like, yay. Okay. She didn't actually say that. She's much nicer than that. But this is the Valkyrie headband. I'll take it off to show you up close and personal. It is this super cute, lacy. It's a little dark, isn't it? I should move my light. It's a little lacy, super cute, super easy headband pattern. You start with a provisional cast on and knit this gorgeous pattern all the way around and then join, and her directions for seaming it together were so cute that we're so good that it looks cute, and it usually takes me a second to find. I think my seam is right here, and you can only tell because it kind of puckers out a little bit right there, which is it gets fixed when I like block it and wear it and stuff. You can't even tell. The yarn is by Aster Fiber Co., who is based in Virginia as well. This is their Composite DK base, and the color is Retrograde. Yep, I said that right. It's Retrograde. Look how cute. I love it. I don't typically wear it with my hair down. Like, I just had that on just for the beginning. Because my hair is really heavy, and so it kind of like pushes everything off my head. So I like to wear it when my hair is up in a ponytail or up in a bun. It looks so cute. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it a bazillion times because I've been singing its praises to high heavens. I love it so much, and the yarn was so nice to work with. So 10 out of 10 recommend, especially if you need like a quick knit or a quick gift knit, have some scraps laying around. This is perfect. It is a fandom pattern. It's based off of a character from the 2nd book in A Court of Thorn and Roses. So if you're A Court of Thorn and Roses buff, then check it out. All right, as always, everything's linked below. If not, message me because I just forgot. My other finished object is my Putney sweater. This is a pattern by Amy Lowden. It is a drop shoulder. So you start at the back, knit your way up, knit across the shoulders, and then join in the round. Pick up for the neckline, do the sleeves, all that jazz. Let me see if I can pop up a little bit without knocking everything over. So I made it oversized and cozy. The sleeves don't have any decreases up until like right before the ribboning, so they are nice balloony sleeves. I made mine way longer than the pattern recommends because I like my sleeves to hit here, but I think the pattern puts them like here-ish maybe. I don't remember. I didn't do any waist shaping or anything, so it's just super oversized and cozy. I'm in love with it. I've worn it constantly since I bound off. The yarn is, of course, Native Fibers. The fingering that I used was called IG's Immortal Life, which was part of her Lord of the Rings collection. It's based off of Arwen. And the Suri Alpaca that I held with it is Prancing Pony, which is also her Lord of the Rings collection. And they're gorgeous. It made the most dreamy fabric. I seriously wear this multiple times a week. Like multiple times. I can't take it off. I love it so much. I did, if you watched my last podcast, you saw that I forgot how to math and I ordered the wrong amount of yarn. So I ran out and I had to ask Megan to dye me more. Her fingering was perfect, on point. You can't tell the old skeins from the new ones, but Suri Alpaca is very hard to get, like, to be exactly the same. So the new dye lot was darker than the one that I had, and I had started the new dye lot on my second sleeve, and I felt like it was noticeably different from the first one, so I decided to do both of my sleeves in the first dye lot. And then the second dye lot is the collar, and I started it like, I don't know, somewhere in here. You can't really tell. I helical knit all the way down, so you can't, like, super tell. Like, I can't find it really in person. Yeah. It's so variegated that, like, it doesn't really matter. But I did think that the different colored sleeves, even though it was so slight, I felt like it would be, I don't know. I felt like it would bother me. Maybe I was just grouchy that day. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's what I did. It's so cozy. I can't pull my sleeves up, and it's perfect. I love the sweater. I think this is the best fitting sweater that I have. My Cozy Classic raglan that I made myself is, like, on point. The Coastal Crop that I've made, it's one of those raglans where it gets kind of like bunchy right here because the rate of increases is off for my size. But it doesn't bother me. Like, I still love to wear it. But this, I don't know, maybe drop shoulders are my new favorite. I've decided that I want to make another drop shoulder pattern just to see whether it's just this pattern or whether it's all drop shoulder patterns that I just am in love with. But this is so good. I love it. It's absolutely my favorite. Okay, those are the only things that I have finished. Let me take a sip here while I collect my thoughts. I have a half-finished object. We have a hoe in the house today. I have one sock finished. This is the second breakfast socks by Sock Witchery. Let me see if I can, oh yeah, look at that texture. Second breakfast socks by Sock Witchery. The name is named after hobbits and their second breakfasts. This is for a friend of mine. This is for my best friend, actually, Drew. I usually give him socks for Christmas, and his birthday is also in December, so for one or the other. I give him a pair of socks. We're obviously a minute late this year. Whatever. So this is the first sock. The yarn is a self-pooling yarn by Sheep Graffiti, and this color is called Fall Orange, also by Sheep Graffiti. But the pooling turned out to be really cool. It kind of just spirals down the leg and down the foot. And I tried for the very first time a shadow wrap heel. I followed the video that Earth Tones girl put out. She has a whole, like, perfect fit sock or easy no fear sock. No, perfect fit is Nitty Natty. Sorry. No fear sock class on YouTube. It's totally free by the Earth Tones girl. And she talks about shadow wrap heel. And I decided to try it. I usually am a, like, religious slip stitch heel flap and gusset person. but I decided to give it a go. And I can't say anything for the wear because even if I tried, I mean, I tried it on, but like these are nowhere near my size, so I can't tell how it feels in comparison. And obviously I don't know how it holds up because no one's worn them. But as far as knitting it goes, it was so fun and so fast. My only thing, I did it a little bit differently because the way that she does it, you have like a blip on the color change. So like the way that she did it, there would be like a little bit of this color right here, and I really didn't like how that looked. So I was like, well, I'll just do a row straight across in the orange and then start the shadow rep heel. But because it's short rows and I added a row that made kind of a hole on the corner, which is totally fine because I just, when I wove my ends in, I just like seamed it up. So it was fine, but I don't know whether it's better to have that blip of the colors like in each other during the color change when you pick up your shadow wraps, or whether it's better to have to like sew up that hole at the end. Sewing up the hole, as far as like the act of doing it, doesn't bother me. It's just for like durability, I guess. I don't know which the best answer is, but I'm going to do the other sock the same way that I did this one. And if you have never seen, it just occurred to me that if you've never watched the shadow wrap heel before, you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's probably really confusing. If you try it, then maybe what I said will make sense. And maybe it won't. I don't know. This isn't a class. This is just for me to ramble, right? So the second sock, where did it go? Here's the ball. There it is. This is the second sock. I have the cast on and one row done. So this is the yarn skeined up. Drew picked this out while he was visiting me in the fall. He said that he did not want a contrast heel toe or cuff. But I started knitting it and I decided that I did not want to mess up the spirals by doing like the heel in this color. And I already had this in stash and it just went perfectly together. So I overruled his decision and he has contrast heels and toes. Okay. I'm making it, right? But yeah, second sock is cast on and one row started. I have a rule where the minute that I finish the toe, like Kitchenerring the toe on one sock, I instantly cast on the second one. So far, I have not had second sock syndrome, so I guess it's working in my benefit. But that's my rule that I do. So we have those. Did I talk about all of the things? I talked about the yarn and the pattern and the heel that I did. Yeah, okay. I think we're good with that one. My other work in progress, I'll show you my other sock. I talked about this one in my last podcast, and I only know that because I just watched the beginning of my last podcast so that I could see what things I have finished since my last episode because I didn't remember. So I had to watch my works in progress to see what I finished, and then I had to look on Instagram to see what else I've made. And I talked about this. I had lost it, and now I found it. It's in this super cute Little Mermaid bag that I got from... I don't know how to pronounce this. It's... Well, that's not going to focus, is it? Okay, sorry, that's not focusing. It's Mpopn. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that, but that's who it's made by. I got it on Etsy. Okay, the yarn first. This is very messy. That's fine. This is Desert Vista Dye Works. Self-striping yarn in the colorway White Rabbit. So it's an Alice-based colorway. I cast these on at Disney when I went with Alan in October. The contrast color that I'm using is Queen City. I don't remember the colorway though. Rose Gold. This is scraps left over. The camera's on this side, sorry. Scraps left over from my Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry that I did in the spring of last year. And this is what we have so far. Just the leg and the start of the heel. All right. Just the leg and the start of the heel. I just did a 2x2 ribbed cuff, and then I knit until I was done. Then I cast on the heel It's a slip stitch heel flap and gusset for this one in my contrast color. And I actually knit like the entire heel flap and then I pulled it out because I was going to try a new heel. And then I was like, no, I don't want to try a new heel. And then I started the flap again. But I might, for the sake of experimentation, pull this out and do a shadow wrap heel on these socks. That way I can wear them and see if I like it better. Because knitting it was super fun. And then it won't change my stripes when doing the gusset. Because when you do a gusset, you have more stitches on your needles when you switch back to your main color. So your stripes in a self-striping yarn like this are going to be a lot thinner. And it just changes how thick your stripes are and it doesn't look the same, which doesn't usually bother me. But if I could use a heel that doesn't require that, that would be pretty cool. So I think I might pull this out and do a shadow wrap heel. Also, shadow wrap heels are a lot faster. So maybe I'll do that. Oh, there is no pattern for this. I just cast on 64 stitches and knit. I was knitting this in line at Disney, but we got fast passes and we went like super off season because we were there at the end of October and beginning of November. So between the fast passes and the fact that there weren't a lot of people there, we didn't really wait in line long enough for me to get anything accomplished, really. So, but it was still fun to cast it on while we were at Disney. Okay. My next whip is my biggest one. It is in this bag that I got when I went to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival in May of 2020. So I'll show you the bag really quick. I don't remember. Let me find the tags. I don't remember who it's by. Cottontail Farms. It's by Cottontail Farms. It is a very large sweater bag with bees and flowers. It's super cute, and it's probably my most used project bag. I love this bag so much. Here's the yarn that I'm using. This is all native fibers. Again, hi Megan. I've said it once, and I will say it again. Is this a Wildflower Magic podcast, or is this a native fibers promotional video? The world may never know. This is a custom colorway that Megan dyed for me. It is called Mother's Always Right, because this is a sweater for my mom, and this is the Suri that I'm holding it with. It's just a white. I don't know if it's dyed white or if it's natural. It is dyed white. It's called White Pumpkin. So this is her White Pumpkin, which is a perfect, this is the best white. It's perfect. Which I feel like if anyone who wasn't a knitter heard me say this is the best white that you could get, they would be like, white is white, what are you talking about? You guys understand though, right? So this is called Mother's Always Right because my mom picked out, this is her very first sweater from me. So I gave her a list of pattern options and she picked one. And then she went through Ravelry to all of the different patterns. It was like 400 of them. And she looked through every single one and she said, well, I like this color, but I wish it was more, this one's okay, but could it be a little bit more? I was like, Mom. So I texted Megan and I was like, I think this is what my mom wants. Can you help? And she was like, I got you. And she nailed it. She did perfect. So this is the Whitmoor sweater by Amy Lowden. Let me make it look a little nicer by fluffing it out a little bit because it's been crumpled up in a bag. And here she is. Isn't it gorgeous? Minus all the dog fur, whatever. So this is the Whitmoor. Let's get up close and personal with some of these details. I can't see the screen when I do this, so hopefully it looks okay. So it is a gorgeous, we have a lacy circular yoke, which I've never done before. So that was so fun to do a circular yoke. I loved this lace. It was super, super simple and intuitive, but just interesting enough that it captivated me. It was exactly what my brain needed. So I am to the point in the body, I decided to switch over to a sleeve. The reason being that I ordered this yarn the exact same time that I ordered yarn for this, and I don't think I have enough. Gate lid. So I have this one and this one is what I'm working from right now. And then I have 2 full skeins of this and 1 more full skein of this. And I have 2 full, like, no decrease balloon sleeves to do. And my mom wants the body of it to be like 16 inches from the underarm. So she wants this to be like 16 inches. She does not like anything kind of remotely cropped. She likes it to be really long and like hit her hip area. And I didn't order enough yarn for that. So what I decided to do was just knit the sleeves, kind of like what I did with this one. I'm just going to knit the sleeves out of the yarn that I have now, and then we'll see. I might be able to squeak it out and finish the body, and if not, then I'll just text Megan and have her dye me up another skein of each, and I'll just throw it onto the bottom of the body, and I don't think it will be noticeable at all. It's pretty variegated, especially at the bottom. So today I learned that if you talk long enough, your phone just wants you to be quiet and stops recording. So it just stopped recording. Anyways, that's my mom's sweater. It was supposed to be a Christmas present. I'm behind, but her birthday's in February, so it's fine. She can just get it for her birthday. Gives me an excuse to go down. Not that I really need one, but... Okay, that's everything that I am actively working on. I have some stuff in like hibernation, but I'm not going to bring all that out right now. Let's chat about what's coming up. I have a couple of things that I am very eager to cast on. One of them is I treated myself to a monthly sock squad, which is by Farmer's Daughter, and it's their monthly sock subscription box, and their theme is wildflowers. So obviously, like, hello. Welcome to the Wildflower Magic Podcast. Obviously, I got the wildflower themed sock set, okay? I just couldn't help it. So, they sent me a calendar that has the flowers for every month. This is January's. It is so cute, and there is a little honeybee up here that he's my new best friend, okay? So, this is chicory inspired. Sorry, I have to get it out of the bag. I should have done that before we started. So, it is a full skein and a mini skein. It's on their sock base, which is 75/25 Super Wash Merino nylon, and this is chicory. So we have these gorgeous speckles in there. I love a speckle. And I love these colors. I love the inspiration. I'm obsessed. So they are doing a, like, make a pair of socks a month with your monthly sock squad yarn kind of challenge. I've decided that challenge is not the vibe of 2023. The vibe of 2023 is rest and intentional relaxation and gentle growth. There it is. It's gentle growth. That is the vibe of 2023. So we're talking like escape into the forest and stare at mushrooms all day kind of vibes. That's what we're going for. So I'm not pushing myself to complete the challenge of knitting my Farmer's Daughter sock squad yarn every single month. However, I am very inspired to knit these this month. I'm very inspired to cast these on right away. So I am going to be casting them on super soon. My plan was to wind them up today, but I don't know that I'm going to get to it because I do have a paper to write today. So I need to write my paper first, and then maybe I will reward myself by winding up and casting on these socks. But yeah, I'm very excited to work on those, and I have a feeling based on their colors and the flowers that they're inspired by that I am going to be inspired every month to work on these and get them done in time. So I might complete the challenge just because it's inspiring to me, but I'm not going to force myself to get it done if that's not what's bringing me joy at the moment. That's my practice for this year. Also, a very dear friend of mine named Kate gave me this charming Colorwork socks book as a Yule present. I am so excited about this because I've been eyeing it, and she knew that, and that's why she got it for me. But some of my favorites... Oh, I didn't grab the yarn for that, did I? Sure didn't. Okay, there's a pair in here that I really want to cast on super soon, and I have yarn for it, and I might pause and go grab the yarn, actually, but first I'll show you this one. This is going to be cast on soon-ish, because I'm obsessed. They're so so cute. But the ones that I have yarn already for, like, I just stashed of and had this yarn kind of picked out. If I had thought ahead, I would have saved it already. The blooming lavender socks. Can you see those? Yeah, look how cute. Okay, I'm going to pause and go grab my yarn. Wait right here. Okay, I'm back. All right, so it is a 3-color Colorwork. This is what I think the main color is going to be. These are from Woolly Mammoth. This is natural socks, so it's 50% BFL, 50% Cheviot wool. Sourced, spun, and made in the UK. I love Woolly Mammoth. If you don't watch her podcast, you absolutely should. It's like the most relaxing. She lives in Ireland, and it's just like dreams. Oh my gosh, that's what dreams are made of. Okay, so the color is Christmas sock set number 3. I got this years ago. And my third color, the actual lilac buds, are going to be this purple. I have no idea what this is. It's just been chilling on my shelf. So these 3 together, main color, stems, lilac buds. So I'm really eager to cast that on pretty soon as well. So those are some upcoming things. I have more planned, of course, but we'll see where the wind takes us. By the time I finish something, I'm usually like, have made 17 plans, and we'll see which one actually sticks by the end. Okay, do I have anything else to talk about as far as knitting goes? I don't think so. Let's chat about some life stuff, because a lot of things have happened. This is my first podcast of 2023. Yay! Like I said, challenge is not in the vocabulary this year. It's more about gentle growth. So I don't have a make 9. I don't have any like knitting goals, just other than to knit what's bringing me joy at the time. And that means that if a project is not bringing me joy, I'm giving myself permission to put it aside, put it in hibernation, frog it, whatever I need to do. I'm not going to trudge through projects this year. That's my knitting goal. So we're knitting what makes us happy. That's it. That's my policy for stash too. I've seen so many like yarn diet posts, and let's talk about why the term yarn diet is super harmful anyways. I shared a post in my stories about it that I feel like she could explain it way better than I could, but basically insinuating that having too much yarn or taking up too much space is like a bad thing. Same with dieting, right? Like being too heavy and taking up too much space is not a bad thing. I think I decided to cut out a really long tangent about why the term yarn diet is super harmful, and I will just save the post to my highlights if you want to read it. But basically, let's not insinuate that doing things that make us happy or taking up too much space is a harmful thing, because it's not, okay? So for me, my stash makes me incredibly happy. I love looking at it. I love reorganizing it. I love having it on display. I love being able to pick from it if I want to, but I also have the freedom to go buy yarn if I want to. So that's where we're at with that. We are doing what brings us joy, because that's what knitting is for, right? Like, I do this hobby because it brings me joy. So that's where we are. That's where we are. A big life update. I left the job at my local yarn store for a multitude of reasons, but I am back in behavioral health. So I am working with autistic kids again, and it feels super, super good. The only thing that does not feel super, super good is that while I was not practicing, my license expired, and now I have to retake my board exam. So I've been going through the application process to retake my boards, which is just tedious and ugh. But it's fine. But I'm back in behavioral health. I'm back in working in mental health, and I am loving it. It's been fantastic. And I have been getting a lot of joy and a lot of purpose out of that. And so it was definitely the right decision, and yay. What else? Oh, the holidays happened. Christmas, Yule. That's what we celebrate. The solstice. New Year's, all of those things happened, and Alan and I, my partner and I, were able to go down to my parents' house in Myrtle Beach and spend quite a few days with them, which was really, really nice. We were also able to go up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. His mom was visiting, like staying in a cabin just for like a weekend getaway in Gatlinburg, so we were able to sneak off and visit her for a couple of days, which was so nice. And then we did spend Christmas down at my parents', which was the first time that I spent Christmas with them in like 4 years, because I've lived on the West Coast for so long. And so that was just magical. My parents go all out, like Griswold family Christmas. and Alan was blown away, and seeing his reaction on Christmas morning, because my parents, even though the youngest kid in the house is 21 years old, my parents still got up in the middle of the night to put all of the presents out. So, you know, we woke up and Santa came, and Alan stood in the living room just like stunned for like 10 seconds because he was so blown away by just the sheer amount of Christmas that happens at my parents' house. It was magic. I loved it so much. It was so good to spend that time with them after so long of not being able to. So that was super special. Alan proposed, so I got some bling. Isn't that cute? It also came with a matching necklace, which I'm not going to get super close, like all up in your space. You can see it, but there's 2 charms on this. One of them is my birthstone that he got me for our anniversary, and then this one matches my ring. Isn't it cute? So that was really fun. He did it on Christmas morning in front of my entire family. It was beautiful. We got to go to a new coffee shop that just opened. We got to see the Christmas morning sunrise on the beach, even though it was freaking cold. I was on the beach like, this is beautiful. Okay, time to go! I don't like the cold, y'all. I just don't. Ugh. He was fine, though. He thought it felt great. Anyways, so yeah, we got to do that, and now we're both kind of just getting back into the swing of things. I'm prepping for my boards again, finishing school. Lots of exciting things happening. As far as watching, I don't do a watching segment because I don't watch anything. Reading, though, I've been reading a lot lately. I switched over from, I guess I didn't switch, I used both. So I was using Goodreads pretty much exclusively, but some friends on The Thread, which is a Discord channel hosted by Common Thread Fiber, you should totally check it out. It is fantastic. I've made, I just love the connection and the community that's over there. But somebody over there suggested using Storygraph, and so now I'm hooked. Storygraph is so much fun. I like it a lot more than Goodreads, so I've been using that a lot, and I have been able to kind of mark all of my reading journeys, and it's been really, really cool to see just how much I read. It's a lot. So recently, I finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and I'm currently reading Take a Hint, Dani Brown, also by Talia Hibbert. She has the Brown Sisters trilogy, so it's Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown. So I'm on the second one right now. I love them because they are romance novels that are lighthearted, but also touch on like really important things. But they're good to read when you don't have the mental capacity to like worry about really big, scary feelings, I guess would be the best way to describe it. I am very much a sucker for, I call them safe reads, where like it's gonna turn out happy, and so even in the midst of the characters' emotional turmoils and stuff, you kind of have the grasp that it's going to end up being okay in the end. And sometimes that's just what I need. I work, working in mental health, I can't always read the super dark stuff and find joy in that. So Talia Hibbert romance novels are my go-to, especially if I'm having a bad day. So I've read, this is like the 3rd time that I've read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. So I started Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and then I guess I could show you, like, these are the covers. Ooh, is that reversed for you? That might be reversed for you. Also, it's in black and white because my Kindle's only in black and white. I also read this book called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by... Who are you by? Kimberly Lemming. And that was like a... It was funny. It was... The characters were really witty. It was a really interesting combination because it was set in like super historical times, like really tiny villages, no technology. You don't really hear from people once they leave the village border, like that kind of time. Women are wearing like big skirts, all that stuff. But then like the characters speak in a very modern kind of goofy way. So it was an interesting contrast there. It was very witty. It was very funny. It was a really quick read. I really liked it. There's a second book called That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. So that's the vibe. Like, they're funny. You can't see that at all, can you? This is not helpful, Caitlin. This is not helpful. So those two were really, well, the first one was really good. I haven't really started the second one yet. The other book that I'm reading is called The Divide by L. Nolan. And The Divide is a young adult dystopian sci-fi novel. So the premise is that aliens have landed on Earth. It's kind of futuristic. Aliens have landed on Earth and taken over and enslaved the human race. They put everybody in like this camp kind of. It's called the Reserve. It's like an enclosed area with really, really firm boundaries. Everybody gets their own house and they get food and like clothes and like they aren't like beaten or anything, but they're still enslaved. And so some of them are escaping and going and joining the rebels. And so it's kind of that, like, let's save the Earth from the aliens type vibe. I'm usually not a young adult dystopian novel fan. I'm reading this because it's one of my really good friends who wrote it. And so I was like, obviously I'll give it a try, right? And I'm really interested. It is definitely outside of my scope of like what I would normally read, but I am intrigued and I'm like 65% of the way through in 2 days. So I'm very interested to see where the story is going because there are lots of like things happening that I don't really expect to happen. So super cool. So yeah, I'm going to finish The Divide probably today, honestly. And then I'll read Danny Brown and then Eve Brown. And I have this other book that's really high on my queue. It's called The Ash Gardens by Ember Hintz. And it's a fantasy. It's like a love story and a fantasy book. I met the author. She works at the botanical gardens that I go to all the time. And so it's romance and gothic fiction with speculative and supernatural elements. So it sounds really, really interesting, and that's very high on my list. So I'm going to start that here pretty soon. But yeah, that's kind of, I think that's all of my reading. Look at my cute little stickers, though. And then I have sweater weather on the back. I love them. Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to chat about. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I don't think I did. Like I said, everything will be linked below, as always, and follow me on Instagram, or whatever. You can follow me on Ravelry. I'm okay-ish at updating all of my Ravelry posts. I went through to count, I think I finished 21 things last year, like 21 knitted projects, and crocheted projects, because I did have crochet projects last year. And I realized that I'm not very good at Ravelry, like keeping it updated. I don't know. I am going through and trying to make sure that everything's added in there, but there's just a lot of things that don't get added in there. Oops. I will try to be better. That's the best promise I can give you. I will try to be better about updating my Ravelry. My Instagram, though, is always updated. So check that out. It was so good to hang out with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz down at the bottom. Or don't, whatever. Like, leave me a comment and let me know what your vibes for 2023 are. If you have like a Make 9 or whatever, I'd love to hear about them. I love looking at other people's Make 9. I just am not doing it for myself because I would never stick to it and then I'd feel bad about it. So we're just going to not. Thank you for joining me. I super appreciate it. I'll catch y'all next time. Happy crafting. Bye.